Happy Friday, everybody. We have the nuclear sector still significantly outperforming. We have Tesla performing well on an overall pretty weak day in markets and really was disappointed. I was fired up for today. I thought, given the last 2 days of price action, today could be spectacular on a Friday. It turned out to be very sort of muted in indexes, and so let's jump into it. Got the Hawaiian shirt on. It's Friday and it's summertime. So let's see. First, we'll just start with market analysis, and then we'll go over, positions. And I kind of like that. So that way, we can kind of jump right into things. And let's start off with indexes here. So NASDAQ, weekday, just like Dow Jones and the rest of them. But this morning, this price action here, this is a 5-minute chart. This price action here, I thought was really good, and that we were going to rocket higher. We did not, gave it all back, and then some sort of kind of craziness in through here, and that basically told me I'm not going to go after anything new, really. There was going to be some sort of riskier plays that I wanted to put on today that I did not, just given how the morning was. I mean, if the 15-minute opening range was going to be bought up to the upside, then I would have, but I was not, so I did not today. Now, indexes are still fine in an uptrend. Now, the one that is of the biggest surprise to me is Dow Jones. I was expecting Dow Jones to have a fantastic day today. When was this? Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. When I made the video on Wednesday, I said, I'm really close to going long Dow Jones. I'm long financial sector, which is pretty well correlated with Dow Jones. So, but we had really strong price action yesterday, so I went long Dow Jones, and to not see any sort of follow through and continue higher is a little bit disappointing. It's of no concern, but I will adjust how aggressive I'm going to be, given that today wasn't strong at all, in my opinion, for indexes. So there's that for Dow Jones. Let's go over to Russell. Just sort of kind of giving things back, just kind of whatever. But if we continue to consolidate, that's cool, that's fine. We don't need any sort of crazy rocket fuel going on. Let's see what's going on with the S&P 500. This looks really good. Let me see Dow Jones here on the weekly chart. Wow. So this actually looks pretty cool on the weekly chart. What if this kind of chill next week and then just rocket higher? I would love to see if this can break out above 450 and, next week close above 450. Then that would be so spectacular. Just overall markets, if Dow Jones can come up and sort of make new highs. That would be awesome. Really, really good for markets. You don't want to see this sort of stalling out and rolling over here. And that's why with today's price action, I'm not going to get that crazy right now. I had a lot more risky plays on, was it last week? That I closed out, some in XLF, Bitcoin. And so if the market gives me a signal to get real crazy again, I absolutely will. But so there's that. Okay, so let's go over XLF. So financials were having a pretty good day, sort of gave some of it back. Again, this is of no concern. Like I said, it sort of tracks Dow Jones, or they're correlated. Um, and so I'm sure this is going to look, pretty similar on the weekly chart here. Um, and yeah, it does. I mean, this looks good. This looks good. Um, let's go over some individual bank stock names. So J.P. Morgan now looks, pretty good. J.P. Morgan. Let's see how Goldman Sachs looks. Yeah, I mean, this is spectacular. So J.P. Morgan now is looking pretty bullish. Goldman Sachs looks amazing. You've got a couple wicks down here off the 21-day EMA on pretty strong earnings that they had. And, sort of consolidation after a nice run up, right? You like to see this. So, yeah. Okay, there's that. Let's look at MasterCard and Visa. Visa. I don't know. Berkshire Hathaway here. Gave back everything today. Wow. Pretty wild. So anyways, yeah, XLF of no concern. I would actually lean pretty bullish. We'll go over, I'm still in those calls. So I guess that tells you that, bullish enough to stay in that position. Okay, so that was top of mind XLF. Let's look at real estate here. Whatever, there's nothing to say with this. Since we're on this topic, we could just go over TLT real quick and bonds. There's as of now, there's no new updates whatsoever. We had some Fed speakers coming out today, and he basically just reiterated what was of no surprise to anyone, saying that inflation is sort of the issue or whatever he said, right? A little wary as latest CPI data shows tariffs pushing up goods inflation. That's what everybody knows. You can sort of argue your point as to what you think is causing inflation. However, that is what is the concern of the bond market. So for him to just say that is nothing surprising. That's that. Let's look at KRE. Let's look at some regional banks. And this looks pretty good, actually. Regional banks look really good. And this is such an unbelievably good sign to see that as bonds are getting crushed, regional banks are performing well and is now in a confirmed uptrend. Because as you guys remember back here, 2023, yeah, that was wild. When those regional banks were blowing up, a lot of it, had to do with how poorly bonds were performing. So, you have bonds still performing terribly, and, regional banks are making a new uptrend. So that's really good. So it's one of those things where, if the market doesn't care, then I don't care. My opinion is sort of meaningless. You just kind of follow what the market is doing as long as I don't have any sort of informational edge. And in terms of, a bond market or regional banks, I certainly don't have any sort of informational edge. So I will keep my opinions to what the market is expressing. Okay, let's look at communications. In preparation for this video, I forgot that I wanted to keep XLC on my watch list, although this was just 2 days ago, so I guess it wasn't too much. But I thought, oh gosh, please don't tell me I missed it. And I certainly have not. So this is fantastic. Um, yeah, I'll be going after XLC here soon. Again, you want to talk about some sort of informational edge? I have none whatsoever. But what I do have is that this all meets my criteria. And so it's worth a shot. Let's see this on a weekly chart. And cool. Couple weeks, little consolidation, a little pullback. Let's see, is there any sort of crazy volume in here? No, there is not. Okay. And so see, blah, 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 blah. Utilities. Oh my gosh, utilities is finally starting to work. Oh my. So scratch XLC or going after XLU. I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. I really messed this one up. XLU. Yeah, because for a while now, all through here, I've been talking about, any sort of break to highs, this thing could continue higher for sure. Man, how long is this base? Let's start it right here. We'll be conservative. Yeah, so since January. So 6 months of consolidation, just break into new all-time highs. This is a must go after for me, so I'll go after this and let's see if I can't screw this up this time. So yeah, XLU. Okay, this is really fantastic. Man, unfortunately I didn't see this today. I wasn't even paying attention to this today. I would have been way more fired up. But anyways, XLU. Okay, so let's look at biotech. Oh, see, some people I've seen discussing biotech, and just for me, right here, right at this 200-day moving average, is a no-go. And that's just for me. It's not some style that I created. IBD has back tested this stuff since like the dawn of time. So this was a no-go for me until this is gonna move above the 200-day moving average and meet more of my criteria. That's just me. So yeah, but biotech's looking pretty close. Although this does not look good right here. But we are in a bull market, very strong market. So, I really don't short things in a bull market. So even though I don't think this looks good, I'm not going to do anything with that. All right. Healthcare, whoa. Oh, man. Who knows? Maybe this is a good sign. Maybe Wall Street has got this crystal ball and is thinking, us Americans are going to get a lot healthier in the coming years, Won't need to go to the doctors as much, Who knows? Maybe this is a really good thing. Maybe this is not bad. But man, does this look terrible. Although, look, it's sitting right in this whole range that this thing has been in since years. So, wow, this is at a serious inflection point here. Yeah, crazy. I mean, that's not a bad idea to short this. But like I said, we're in a strong market. I don't like shorting things in a strong market. So I don't. Most of my money is going to be tied up in long positions. You know what I mean? There's no sense in fighting anything. At least that's just for me. Although it does feel cool sometimes to like, go against the grain and do a contrarian play that works out, But like I say, that some sort of ego trading like that has no place for me. And so, anyways, okay, so XLV. What are some other sectors that we can go over? Energy. And yeah, it's just, I mean, there's nothing to do here. There's nothing to do with this for me. Again, when I say these things, I'm just talking about my style. Nothing to do here for me. No informational edge here whatsoever. Oil markets, no opinion. Yeah, no opinion. There's no trade to be had here in oil for me whatsoever. If anything, this looks pretty bearish, but yeah. Okay, so let's go over some silver and gold here, and yeah, silver's looking pretty strong. Nice sort of uptrend. Let's go over gold. I think gold was up a little bit today. Yeah, it was, but man, it's kind of lulling everybody to sleep. So, we'll see. There's a chance another move in gold, whichever direction, could be, could be pretty significant, right? You have a similar looking, so all of this looks pretty similar to like right here, just all couple months, just lulling everybody to sleep, and then the next move that it makes, propels it in that direction for a long time. So that could be another scenario that we're facing. Yeah, see, sort of same thing here. Right, so whichever direction this moves next, I could see it, sort of sustaining that move for a good amount of time. It's crazy. I was watching this level for a long time. Okay, and well, might as well go over copper. Yeah, see, copper is still on a tear and still looks really good. Let's go over wheat and corn here. Wow, it's up pretty big, no trade to be had. And same thing with corn. Okay, so now let's go over Mag 7. Oh, let's see industrials here. Let's see industrials. Yeah, this looks fine, right? In an uptrend, there's no difference in how I would sort of categorize this over the last week or so. All right, so now let's go to Mag 7. Let's start with Microsoft. Made a new all-time high today, gave it back. People classify that as bearish, but the last time that this happened would have been on this day at 483, and look what happened after that. So yeah, there's nothing new or insightful to say about a chart like this or a company like this. It's one of the best companies in the entire world in a massive uptrend, hasn't even pulled back at all. So what's there to say? It's amazing. Amazon's just sort of kind of cruising. I don't know, nothing of concern. Meta, ooh, this is looking pretty good. I personally like this style or sort of setup here where I would classify this as more obvious for me, right? Because you have it's sort of below these moving averages, but not really on any sort of meaningful volume. And you've got so many people that have put their stop losses below $700 or just below the previous day's close, right? You see people doing that as well. And that can work for short-term trades, but any sort of swing trade, I hate that strategy. But anyways, so you like to see a shake, but regardless, but so many people do this. And it sort of goes back to feelings and emotions with trading, where people feel like they need to have a stop loss. Not saying that that's a bad idea to do that by any means. Just, you feel better by having a stop loss. Everyone tells you have a stop loss, so you feel better. And you think, where should I put the stop loss? I don't really know. 700 is a nice kind of round number. You have previous resistance here at 700 that broke above it. We got, a little bit below 698. We could do from the previous close. We'll feel good. Give it a little 694, right? Because anything below 695, you think, oh, shoot, it's definitely over. So, maybe even 689. No, it didn't quite go that low. 691. So anyways, regardless, all of that weakness in here was bought. And, wow. Yeah, see, you just completely bought, and now I would say this looks really good. I love chart patterns like this. Is this going to be some sort of cub with handle? Let's see this on a weekly chart. Well, I guess this would have already been it. I'm definitely no guru in this, but 1, 2, 3 weeks for a handle. So you have your cup, you have your handle. Regardless, yeah, this looks really good to me, and definitely something worth going after. I mean, like I always do, I really go after indexes. I'm long NASDAQ 100, so these moves are pretty correlated. However, this does look really good. So I may go after Meta, maybe with some sort of, debit spreads. So, yeah. Okay. Microsoft, Amazon, Meta. I always throw in Netflix. And oh yeah, that is what was getting hammered today. Oh, was this on earnings? 717. Oh, interesting. I wonder what was going on with their earnings. Netflix earnings show that YouTube is the streamer to fear. Yeah, I mean, they're not wrong. For me, that's interesting, huh? Management bets YouTube dilemma. Whoa. Very interesting. Yeah, I watch stuff on YouTube a lot more than Netflix. A lot more. Every once in a while there's a fantastic show I love on Netflix, and I'll just binge it, and then just get over it and never really watch Netflix. But, for example, with YouTube, I'll just put on like a cooking show at night or some random surfing videos, or like Bigfoot shows, you know what I mean? And then yeah, it's free, and just go to sleep. I don't really need a big production, Wow, very interesting. Okay. So Meta, Amazon, Microsoft. Oh, we'll go over Google. Same thing with Google. Still fine, whatever. Still this gap up here to fill. I really have no new information here on any of these. with the exception of one. Okay, whatever. Okay, we'll go over to Tesla, and then I'll end it here for market analysis. Tesla looks good. I think Tesla looks good and definitely worth going after. So to summarize, oh shoot, Apple definitely is Max 7. Oh my gosh, and we got to go over nuclear energy. So Tesla looks good, Apple looks good. I don't know. Like I've been saying, this has been a laggard, so I don't understand how you can't expect this to outperform. So as long as those expectations are like that, this is with that being said, this is performing well, relatively speaking. So no reason to do anything with this, or anything new, I should say. Okay, so now let's go over nuclear energy sector, and this sector is just rocking. CCJ, I hate to see it give a lot back up here at 80. But yeah, just rocking. Look at SMR, up 7% today, 7.3%. Yeah, what's there to, oh my, look at this, is nuts. 6.6% again today. Yeah, like I said, this nuclear energy sector is going to be rocking and rolling. I'm super pumped on this. Finally, these are working great. All through here, is when I started really becoming bullish on nuclear energy. And then, gave this all back, and I thought, no way, it's all my research for nothing. But this still looks great. I'm still in these debit spreads here. So with that, let's jump into positions, and XLF still looks fine. This looks pretty good. The fact that this did not continue this move higher, I will probably adjust my price target and how risky I want to get with this position. This 1 day here is of no real significance. I want to see what'll happen like Monday, Tuesday. If this sort of just kind of cruises, then I definitely won't be getting riskier with this position. Now, there's great volume the last 2 days. Today, there's not, which is actually a good sign. So last 2 days, really good volume. That's great to see. So XLF September 19 is the expiration, $54 strike price, paid 81 cents. Those are currently 85 cents. And yeah, so like I said, I started this position right here. Yes. Right here, this day, 7/14, 4 days ago. And then added to, this was of no concern whatsoever, and neither was the subsequent day right here, which I also added to that position. And so yeah, still looks good, whatever. All right, still in TQQQ calls, with an $86 strike price expiring September 19 at $8. Currently $7.90, like I explained in the video on Wednesday. My opinion on all of this stays the same. Shake Shack, man, this looks okay. If this can continue out of this and above, I'll add to this position. I did add a little bit at 135. So average cost basis on this is $132.78. Maybe bumped it up, a little bit. Well, not maybe it did, but anyways, yeah. So that's where we're at on this. Like I said, if this can sort of kind of move out and get higher, I'll definitely add to this. If it kind of gives things back and goes below the 50-day moving average, I would get out of this. I don't, like I talked about, I don't have any sort of informational edge on any of this. I feel like I have had one with nuclear energy, so which is why with SMR, look at this on a weekly chart, which is why through all of this in here, I could care less, because I felt as though I did have an edge, an informational edge with this through here, and so added to it, and didn't care. I would have continued adding to this and whatever, pretty much no matter what. Not right now, but on any sort of pullback, definitely will. Okay, so where is I going with this? Oh yeah, so with Shake Shack, I don't really have any sort of informational edge. So I'm not going to treat it as such. I'm going to treat it a little bit differently. Shake Shack. So CCJ, since we're still on this topic, CCJ is performing great. Those debit spreads are August 15, 75 on the long call, 85 on the short call, 280-ish is what I paid. Those are currently 450-ish. So that's working out fantastic. And that has helped a little bit with my FOMO for closing out SMR a couple days back. Yeah. Right at 44-ish. No, like 43 or something. So yeah. Okay. There's that. Now let's talk about some new positions. Dow Jones, like I said on Wednesday, if this could continue higher on Thursday, I was going to go long Dow Jones, even though XLF, is correlated with Dow Jones. This still meets my criteria, and Mr. Jones is one of my favorite indexes. I have, there's certain instruments where you have, fairly good success with that sort of meet your criteria, meet your eye, do as you expect. Dow Jones is one of those, except for sometimes it can go completely dormant, like it did through here. I don't know if you guys remember, you probably don't, but I was in calls through here, all of this, just it's like a month and a half or something before it finally worked out. So sometimes that certainly can happen with Dow Jones. So, so calls Dow Jones September 19 is the expiration, $447 strike price. So a little bit out of the money. We're in a strong market, so I do adjust my strategy, my style a little bit. That's what's really cool about options, is you can really sort of adjust as the market allows. Okay, $10 is what I paid, a whopping 10. Those are $9.15. I'll show you where I got into these, and so this is Wednesday. I said if we have another strong day on Thursday, I would get into these, and sure enough, we did. And, unbelievable morning. I mean, this was just rocking. I mean, this is huge move. So, initially I had these set at 950. To get filled like 950, like somewhere in here, just massive, somewhere the first part of the day, and nowhere close to getting these filled. So I just told myself, all right, next pullback, I'm in. Don't care. And that's what we got here. And it looked like a pretty good entry point until it was not. But then the end of the day was strong. Today, very surprisingly weak. Decent close. Whoa, what happened after hours? Anything of significance? What's going on? What time is this? And this is at the close. Yeah, that's nothing happening at all. Okay. So yeah, like I said, given the fact that the strength from the previous 2 days wasn't continued, makes me a lot more cautious on this moving forward. A lot more cautious. So yeah, I just am going to play this a little bit differently than if this, continued higher today. So for example, I'm going to have a tighter stop. I won't be looking for a breakout, and I'll be looking to get out at some sort any sort of strength closer to the 45,000-ish price target, 45,000 range or so. We'll see. I'll change my opinion given how next week goes, but as of now, that is what my expectation is. I'm no longer super excited about this position as I first was on Thursday. Okay, now let's talk about another one that we started today. Is going to be Tesla. And I'm moderately bullish on this. This daily chart is sort of like, I don't really know, but I keep coming back to this weekly chart where this just looks fantastic. This sort of like bear flagging pattern has been broken twice now, right? So you've got this huge run down, a sort of consolidation for another move lower, and then psych, we're going higher. And that's happened twice now. And really sort of like, all through here, if this was going to continue lower, this would have, and like I said, if we could get some sort of strong close on a weekly chart, this could be like jet fuel potentially. And so yeah, I still feel that same way. I mean, look at this on a monthly chart. Just look at the stochastic here. Let's start with let's just do this. So, wow, yeah. So, if you just look at the stochastic here, anything below 40, right? Like, what if you just had sort of your buy points sort of below here? So like 250 range. I mean, it wouldn't have worked out here, but regardless, I mean, any sort of on a monthly, like the stochastic's way down here, below 40. Basically, if you just only paid attention to this and just sort of bought when the stochastic on a monthly chart was below 40, you would be sitting pretty. And that's pretty much where we are right now with, I would argue some, confirmation that we could be moving higher. Yeah. So, like I said, this daily chart is kind of whatever. What strikes me as important here is this is not in any sort of extended territory to the upside. That's really what I was looking at, and how I would gauge what extended territory to the upside would be is through RSI. And with the RSI here at 50, It's certainly not extended to the upside. And so I'm pretty excited about Tesla's stock performance here. I like the fact that Elon has gone a little bit quiet. We'll see how long that lasts. But sticking on a just sticking on a couple themes here, and then we'll end the video. But so it's like $327 and some change or so is the equity position in here. Just sticking on some themes with AI. So AI sort of had what would have been its reckoning, if there was going to be a reckoning, through this previous bear market that we had. And it showed that demand for AI just went up. So, Tesla being, one of the greatest, most advanced AI companies goes into a bullish camp where, do you want to take advantage of an AI related stock? Yes. Okay. Tesla could be one that could provide rocket fuel to an AI portfolio. There's no company that's even close with real world artificial intelligence, and not even close. So there's that. Then coupled with just electric vehicle market, there's no companies even remotely close. And we're talking about legacy car companies that have been producing cars since forever. They're not even close to the performance of Tesla for electric vehicles. And so given that, then, with humanoid robots, that's something that could be super cool. Robotaxi could be super cool. And robotaxi could be insane. And coupled with the fact that people hate Elon Musk and hate Tesla and want to see Tesla fail. You have people like Tim Walz that is up on stage saying you guys see Tesla's share price, it's down like 10% or whatever. So these are things that are really good if you want to be long a particular stock, because for example, basically in bull markets, as long as you have something to worry about in a bull market, you generally don't need to worry about anything. If you don't have anything to worry about in a bull market is when you should start being worried, because stocks climb a wall of worry. That's an old saying. And so, if everybody's opinion is the same on something, it's the chance of that particular asset, that price of that asset moving higher is very slim, because what's going to change? What is going to change in order to drive that asset price up? Right? Nothing. So you like to see a company like Tesla that has even further upside potential just with its finances, and is already in a sort of class all of it of its own, and has so much hate behind it, right? So with all of that put together, same with the weekly chart, it's certainly worth going after. Same with a monthly chart, certainly worth going after. And again, you think about, what could possibly get worse for Tesla? What more, bad publicity could you possibly have? They've already destroyed all, a bunch of cars, dealerships, Elon and the Trump sort of feud that's going on. Democrats hate Elon Musk. Half of Republicans now hate Elon Musk. So how much worse could things really get for Tesla unless it's pretty catastrophic? And so again, just all of these things I kind of compile into what I would consider would be a sort of informational edge, sort of like a nuclear energy sector. So yeah, with that, that's it. Let's look at just a couple more things here, in terms of maybe some gaming stocks. Let's see how those are going. See, so EA I said looked pretty good. Yeah, it still looks okay. I mean, you don't like to see it as it's crossing these moving averages. Give this back. Let's take two. Below the 50-day moving average on some heavy volume, but this I would give this a pass. This is at the $230 dollar level, and I would venture to say a lot of this volume is going to be below this $230 level. So you can sort of disregard that, as these are all people's stop losses in here getting hit, and sort of institutional buyers in here soaking up all of this. And so you can sort of disregard the volume today as being bearish. I would consider this sort of bullish, actually. Let's see this on a weekly chart. And that doesn't really change my opinion. Monthly chart doesn't really change my opinion. I mean, this thing is in an uptrend, right? So until the uptrend's broken, there's no need to be a panicking. And as a matter of fact, I mean, this is sort of right on this trend line. So this actually could be pretty good, honestly. Take two could actually be pretty good. Take two. And EA, God, a little bit weaker. So let's see Roblox and Unity. I think Roblox is still, like, I don't understand where, somebody was supposed to get in. Wow, right here is where somebody like me would have. I don't understand. I've just really messed up Roblox big time. All right, Unity. Yeah, so, so this sector is rocking and rolling. Game stocks. That's something else that I wrote down that as a theme for this year was game stocks, nuclear energy, and both of those really lulled me to sleep. And now they're really taking off. So again, I really do think that going forward, those could be good. And with that, everybody have a fantastic weekend. See ya.